have been concentrated on the middle income and working people. But let me tell you, these deficits, you know, when they talk about it, all you hear is they talk about the taxes. They act like these deficits just sort of disappear into the air. They don't. We have to borrow the money. And there's a terrible price to borrowing this money. It means, among other things, that we don't enforce our trade laws anymore. Trade enforcement is 1/5 what it was when I was president. You know why? Because the countries with big trade deficits, surpluses with us, who are they? China, Japan, third is Korea, fourth is the oil exporters, okay? Guess who loans us the money every single day to pay for my tax cut and our soldiers? In order. China, Japan, Korea, and the oil exporters. This is not rocket science. And you can't be mad at them. We didn't make them do this. We did this to ourselves. We decided that we'd rather give people like me money that we did not need when there are children that I helped raise, putting their lives on the line in Iraq and Afghanistan. And whether you agree with our policy or not, we should be supporting those young people. Every step of the way. And so, we're borrowing money from China to support them and pay my tax cuts, borrowing money from Japan to buy oil from the Saudis. If you think this makes sense, by all means, vote for one of the Republicans. You only have one left. But I just tell you, you know, my late father-in-law from Scranton, Pennsylvania, rest his soul. I wish he lived to see his little girl run for president. He was so tight with the dollar, he never even bought a car he couldn't pay cash for. Now, I don't recommend that to the rest of you. You'll bankrupt Detroit. Don't do that. But the point is, this is a big deal with her. And this is a big deal for you. $4 trillion out of the national debt. A $30,000 birth tax on every child born in Pennsylvania this year. If you want to get back to financial responsibility and regain control of our economic sovereignty so these other programs will really work and the young people in this audience will have a better future, if you vote for Hillary, you will have somebody who will give you a valid alternative. Now, and that's my first case for her. She's the best candidate to restore the middle class. My second case is she'd be the best commander-in-chief and the best diplomat-in-chief, the best handler of our challenges around the world. And I want to say, you know, first we have to recognize that a lot of the world is alienated from us, and it's not just about Iraq. It's not even primarily about Iraq anymore. They're mad at us because they think for 7 years we have wanted one set of rules for America and another set for everybody else. And if you think about the problems we got in the world, think about it. Terrorism, illegal immigration, the spread of nuclear weapons, the threat of global epidemics like avian influenza and global warming. Let's just take those. There's not one of those problems we can solve alone, is there? Not a single one. So when we say to the world, we don't want Iran and North Korea to have nuclear weapons, we don't. But we're going to be the only country ever to withdraw from the Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. And by the way, we're going to try to develop 2 new nuclear weapons. That's pretty hard to sell. Think about it. Maybe you could sell it. I don't want you to have one of what I already have 1,500 of that I'm trying to get 2 more of. Think you could sell that? That's a hard sell. Or look at, excuse me, look at this argument about torture in the Geneva Convention. We were out there arguing for years. We weren't bound to the Geneva Convention on human rights when our own senior military commanders were begging us to honor them so that our men and women in uniform wouldn't be more likely to be tortured if they were captured. Or look at this global warming thing. Oh, we got global warming, it's a big problem. We hope the rest of the world will do something about it, but we're not about to cooperate with it. And we know that China and India and these other countries can burn the world up without any help from us, and they're not about to do the right thing unless we prove it's good economics to do it. So I could go on and on and on. Hillary wants to send a different message to the world. She wants to say, we know we need to cooperate, so from now on, here's our policy. We're going to cooperate with you whenever possible and act alone when we have to, not the other way around. We're going to have diplomacy with friend and foe alike whenever possible and use military force as an absolute last resort, not the other way around. That is the right message. And let's talk about Iraq a little bit. And let me back up and say, I feel very strongly that Hillary is the best qualified person to be president under these circumstances. And it's one of the reasons she won in Texas, which has the highest incidence of veterans and active military personnel of all the states in the country. Because 2 former chairmen of the Joint Chiefs of Staff have endorsed her, 30 retired generals and admirals have endorsed her. She's the only member of the Armed Services Committee running. She was the only senator asked by the Pentagon to be on a small commission to plan the modernization of the military. She thinks we should bring our soldiers home from Iraq. But she believes that if it's done in the right way, she thinks it's the right thing for the Iraqis, essential for the American military, and the right thing for the war on terror being fought on the front lines in the moderate Muslim democracy of Afghanistan against the Al-Qaeda and their Taliban supporters. And so let's just talk about that. She said that she would order an early withdrawal of our combat troops, leaving some special forces personnel in the north of Iraq to counter any return of the Al-Qaeda there. You should want that, because those people want a third war in the Middle East, and they do not want the Israelis and the Palestinians to make peace.